Welcome back to Haan's Romanian Test Kitchen, where I cook Romanian dishes that I've never tried before. And today I'm with my grandma again, and we're cooking paprikash de pui. Paprikaș is a Hungarian dish, but because my Romanian grandmother grew up in a town that was 50% Hungarian, this is something we grew up eating all the time. So I'm familiar with the dish, but I've never made it myself. You made paprikash all the time when we were growing up.
All the time.
But the way that we grew up eating it was always with chicken.
Chicken,
Right, yeah.
most of the time, yeah.
So this isn't exactly my grandma's recipe, but I've tasted it so many times that I've kind of come up with a recipe in my head that I think should be quite delicious. And I've added a few little tweaks to it. So that's it. I'm gonna cook and then you're gonna come back and taste it and tell me what you think.
Yeah,
Sound good?
sounds good.
Okay, we'll see you soon. All right, to start our paprikash, we've got to start our base for our chicken stew, because this is essentially a stew. To our pot, I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of lard. You can use butter or oil, but lard would be traditional in the way that my grandmother grew up cooking this. And then here, I've got some veggies that I already pre-cut. Onion, red pepper. I'm gonna add the onion in first. I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt just to help draw out some of that moisture. I like mine to get really nice and soft and lightly golden brown. And now I'm gonna add my chopped up red peppers. And we're gonna do the same thing to these. We're gonna cook them down with a little bit more salt until they become a little bit soft and the moisture has cooked out of them. So our peppers are cooked down and we're gonna add some tomato paste and some sweet Hungarian paprika to the mix. Better to start with the paprika now that I think about it, so we can toast it a little bit. And the second tablespoon, I'm adding a lot of paprika because I think it needs it. To this, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of good quality tomato paste. And I'm just gonna toast that in the pan for about 30 seconds, just to get it a bit caramelized and cook out some of that raw tomato flavor. And then finally, I'm gonna add about 500 mils of good quality chicken stock. To this, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of salt, and we're gonna start adding our chicken now. So I've got a whole chicken. I've just broken it down into 8 to 10 pieces, depending on the size of the chicken. Bone on, you're gonna get so much flavor from the bone, and that's how my grandmother always used to cook it. So we're keeping it bone on, just like grandma does it. Once all that chicken's in there, we're gonna bring it up to a simmer, let it simmer for 30, 40 minutes until all the chicken is super tender, and then we'll be ready to add our dumplings. In this bowl, we've just got regular all-purpose flour, about 150 grams. To that, we're gonna add about a half teaspoon of salt. And then to this, we're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of kind of room temperature butter. We're just gonna mix that into our flour. And basically you just wanna incorporate it into your flour until it kind of looks like coarse sand. Okay, so this is what the flour looks like now. It's kind of like a wet sand. And I'm gonna add 4 large eggs to this. Okay, so this is quite a runny batter. And I'm just gonna use a good old fork to mix this up. I'm gonna give it a good enough beating that it's not too grainy. There you go, that's looking pretty good. And now that's ready to add to our stew when our chicken is nice and cooked. So our chicken's been cooking for about 30 minutes and we want it kind of almost falling off the bone. You can see how rich and deliciously oily it's become. All there's left to do now is make our dumplings. The way I grew up eating it, the way my grandmother always made it, was that we made our dumplings directly into the pot. The dumplings soak up much more flavor, and they also act as a thickening agent for the stew, so it becomes less soupy and more stewy. How we're gonna do this is just take 2 spoons, just take a little bit of your batter on your spoon and pop it directly in. It's really important that the stew is boiling. If it's not boiling and you add this to sort of like very gently simmering or not simmering at all stew, they're just gonna fall apart. So I've got all my dumplings in there. It's gonna take between 10 to 20 minutes to cook them through. It'll probably actually be quicker to cook them through, but I just like to let them boil a little bit longer to really soak up all that flavor and thicken up the stew. So let's do that and we'll check it in 20 minutes and should be ready to eat after that. All right, paprikash is ready. I've just gotta cut up some parsley to add it to it. Got my taste tester here, she's ready to go. Be generous with the parsley because It is quite a rich dish, so it's nice to have some of that fresh herbiness running all the way through it. So I'm using a whole bunch for this recipe. Looks pretty good. That's pretty close to how you make it, right? But now's the real test to see if it tastes good. You like it? It's pretty good. I think yeah.
Delicious.
I think your dumplings are a little softer.
Are they?
Well, maybe not. I like this texture because it's a little bit chewy, which is nice.
Yeah.
I pass.
Excellent. Excellent. Perfect.
Turned out pretty well. Just made a few tweaks, adding a little bit of butter to the dumplings to make them a little bit richer. Stays true to how my grandma made it, so definitely a winner.
Excellent.
Gotta try it at home. Grandma approved.